Hello, a few years ago, I did a crash test to make your own magic sand at home. Since then, a lot has changed and many brands have entered this market and now offer their own industrial version. I bought 5 competing brands, and I suggest we discover them together to see which one is the most satisfying and above all, the easiest to clean. At the end of the video, I'll make a ranking and we'll see together which one is the best. Let's go. Okay, so we'll start with the most well-known one, which is Super Sand. It comes in a bucket, so that's pretty good. It can be reused, and it comes with molds, which is pretty nice for kids. And once again, we can also use this at the beach, and the sand itself is right here. Well, let's be honest. In terms of quantity, it's not a lot, especially compared to the size of the bucket. There's a bit of a trick going on here. Honestly, I was expecting something a bit more generous. According to what's written, we only have 600 grams, which is much less than a regular bag of flour. Honestly, they could have tried harder, so I'll cut open the bag and see if it spills everywhere. Knowing that it's magic sand, so it's supposed to be more compact and easier to handle than regular sand. So is it easy to handle? Listen, yes, it's relatively compact and it stays together in one piece. But on the other hand, it's relatively dry. Oh yeah, wow, and it really crumbles a lot. There's no way to stretch it or anything. It really acts like sand. So I'm a bit worried that with a mold, it won't be as satisfying as that. Let's try it. I'll start by putting all the excess sand back into my bucket. As you can see, it comes off pretty easily, even by hand. So in that regard, it's not bad, but I think we could get something better with another brand. Now I'm going to use it with one of the molds that comes with it. We'll see if it holds its shape. Honestly, I have some doubts because it's really dry. I really feel like we're going to get a lot of cracks and so on. It's not going to be very clean. Well, first of all, what I want to point out is that the texture is really fine. It's super soft, so it's pleasant to handle. So there is definitely that satisfying aspect. This really takes me back to childhood. However, I'm not sure you can actually make sculptures with it. So for adults who like to build sandcastles and so on, I'm not sure this is the right product. All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm tapping. Did it work? Okay, well, it's not too bad. I'll try to cut it in half. Let's see how it goes. I'll do this with a real knife since I don't have a plastic one. It's still pretty clean. Only with magic sand can you get such clean cuts. Not a single grain fell. And honestly, I have to tell you, this is super satisfying. It's great for ASMR. It could be amazing. Well, listen, this is off to a good start. This one is really not bad. And apparently it's made only from natural materials. As for which ones, I couldn't tell you, simply because it's not written anywhere. I guess they're keeping their magic recipe a secret. Now let's move on to the Playform sand brand with this pack of 8 colors that kind of works like modeling clay. This time, we've got a more minimalist packaging since it's just a simple cardboard box, but at least it looks pretty full. So each bag of sand comes in its own little plastic pouch. That's a bit of a shame since I don't really see how we're going to be able to reuse them even though they have a zip. Here the sand looks very hard and compact, almost like modeling clay. I'll choose the orange one and see what happens. Well, what I can already tell you is that the texture is very different from super sand. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it really looks like some kind of dough. And here there's definitely a very particular smell. It smells a bit like oil lamps or simply like petroleum. And honestly, it's not very pleasant. So let's play with it a bit. Let's see how it goes. As you can see, it stays really compact. Can we pull on it? Yeah, okay, well, in this case, I prefer this over super sand. It doesn't leave any residue on your hands and it's really nice to handle. You can really have fun with it. And I really don't feel like it leaves crumbs everywhere. You can easily pick them up. Look, by tapping it, it's exactly like modeling clay. Honestly, there's nothing to complain about in that regard. I think it's really great. I'm going to try to make a ball. Let's see how it turns out. Look how smooth it is. It almost looks like a foam ball. There's no problem. You can even play with it. It doesn't fall apart. Let's see how it goes. When you cut it with a knife, wow, it's so dense. Oh, it's really something special. It's really not bad either, but I think I prefer the super sand for this part. I don't know why, but here, cutting it isn't as satisfying. So now, the question is, will I be able to put this back in the bag without any problem? I'm not sure about that, we'll see. Okay, well, I was wrong, it works. I don't know what you think, but I think little boxes would have been nicer anyway. And actually, now I'm going to test a product from the brand Smart Sand, which made that choice. With the packaging, I feel more like it's an educational product. Listen, it's just another way to sell it. Okay, so here we have a first container with green sand and some cookie cutters inside. Here, it's the same thing, but in purple. Same for the colorless version. We also have magenta and finally blue. And each time there are obviously different shapes inside. It's nice that they thought of that. Well, no surprise, we're going to go with the green one. As for the smell, is there anything special? Well, once again, it's pretty weird. Let me tell you, I'll wash my hands after, since it doesn't smell great. I think the brands are trying to have their own scent signature, like Play-Doh does, which is actually one of the reasons for their success. But in this case, I think it's pretty much a failure. All right, here we go. Let's put this on the work surface. Ooh. Oh. Ah, that's satisfying. Ah, I love it. This one is really super pleasant to handle. Look how it moves. It's honestly very satisfying. Ah, it comes off really easily. Indeed, this is real magic sand, and as you can see, it leaves very few grains. I think it's going to be easy to clean. On the downside, it's a bit sticky. I still have a lot of residue on my hand. I'll try to make a bowl like before, but honestly, that's not going to work. It's quite hard to compact and it crumbles way too easily. Honestly, I think the slicing will be amazing. Wow! Oh no, this one is just way too good. Ah, I love it. Look at how smooth it is, how clean it is. This time we're really looking at some truly amazing magic sand. For now, I think this is my favorite, but we still have 2 more left. Let's see what they have to offer. Now we're moving on to sensory sand. Honestly, it's pretty simple. They all just took the word sand and added a word that sounds kind of nice. For example, if I created my own, I'd probably call it incredible sand or clumsy sand. I don't know, but anyway, there you go. This one, on the other hand, has pretty basic packaging compared to the others. I don't get the feeling there's a big company behind it. It looks more like an independent product. And it's clearly aimed at all age groups, which is pretty good, since after all, it's not necessarily just for kids. Oh, I feel like we've got a big bag here. Yeah, there's a lot in there. They didn't shortchange us. Inside, we get a kilo of sand, and apparently the bag is resealable. There's also a zip. Visually, it looks a lot like the first one. Let's see if it's the same when it comes to texture. Oh no, it seems pretty stiff. It looks like wet sand again. Oh yeah, it's really nice. There's this little bit of moisture, so it's going to be much easier to work with than the super sand. Oh yeah, look at that. In this case, the texture is really perfect. Is this really what you expect from magic sand? Honestly, this one is very similar to the one I just tested before. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same supplier or simply the same owner behind both. It's just that they're targeting 2 different audiences. Knowing that this one is sold for less and with a larger quantity than the other, it might be a good idea to choose this one to save money, especially if they're identical. So here, I'm trying to make a sort of mold to get a nice cut. In a moment, I'm going to pack down my sand. There we go, perfect. Oh, it stays in place really well, it's super satisfying, and now all that's left is to see how the cut turns out. Oh, the sound is incredible. It's much better than the others. Listen to this. Oh, wow, 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 wow. And look at how it falls, the slices and so on. It's just perfect, honestly. This is awesome. Nothing beats this. It's impressive. Now I just need to try the famous Kinetic sand. You've probably already seen this on social media. People putting this kind of sand in a glass and pressing down on it with a mallet. Honestly, it's super satisfying to watch, so I hope it'll be the same here. So, what do we have inside? Okay, so we have a kind of little instruction manual. Here we have the famous container where we're going to put our sand. Honestly, I imagined it would be a bit smaller. There's a kind of pusher that comes with different tips, a sort of plastic blade to flatten everything and separate our sand. And finally, 3 colors of Kinetic sand. Well, as you can see, this is the most complete kit in terms of accessories, but when it comes to the amount of sand, it's still a bit lacking. So, here we go. I'm gonna open the red container. Let's see what it's like in terms of quality. Honestly, it looks pretty good, but will it come out of the tube completely or not? Yeah, oh no, I like it. Honestly, really, it's great in terms of texture. There's this elastic side, as you can see, but I feel like you can also shape it really easily. It doesn't seem to come apart. Can we make a ball? Yeah, actually, that's totally possible. So, can you pick up the crumbs easily? Yeah, no problem. So, same thing. When it comes to cleaning, it's great. Now, I suggest we try stacking different colors and use the product as it was designed. So, let's go. I'm going to put a bit of red sand at the bottom. I'll take this accessory to pack it down, so you just have to insert it and press. There we go, great. And now I'm going to add the different layers one after another. And there we go, that looks pretty good to me. And now let's start cutting our kinetic sand. Well, it's true that the color is really nice, but in terms of consistency, how it falls, and the feeling, I still prefer the previous two. It's time for the review. So I'm gonna give you the final result and my ranking of the magic sands tested in this video. And just so you know, when it comes to cleanliness, they all actually live up to their promises. I didn't have any cleaning problems, which is actually a good thing. In fifth place, I would put Super Sand. It just goes to show that the most well-known isn't always the best. I find it really dry, not the most pleasant to handle. It's not a disaster either, but still, it's not the one I would recommend to you. Next comes Playform, which is interesting, but it's more like modeling clay and it has, let's say, a rather off-putting smell. Next comes Kinetic Sand, which I think is really meant for younger kids, especially with its accessories and sand that you can mix to get new colors. There's really an introductory aspect to it, but it's true that it's not cheap, especially considering the amount of sand you get inside. In second place, I would put Smart Sand. It's really amazing in terms of feel, and it has the advantage of being available in several colors. And in first place, I would put Sensory Sand, which is just as good, but has the advantage of offering more quantity for a lower price. So if you don't need colors, honestly, this is the one you should get. There you go, that's it, we're done now. If you're interested in the topic, feel free to check out my video that explains how to make magic sand, and as for me, I'll see you very soon for new adventures. Goodbye.